This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. More than 5 years after opening its doors, the Mascot Hall of Fame and Interactive Children's Museum in Whiting is preparing to close at the end of the summer. The move is not entirely unexpected, as plans for a new office redevelopment project were announced earlier this year that threatened the future of the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame announced on social media Monday that its last day will be September 14th. Mayor Steve Spebar previously told our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana that the museum has been costing the city about $500,000 in tax dollars each year and never reached its goal of becoming self-sustaining. While the physical Hall of Fame building is closing, the Mascot Hall of Fame said it will continue to operate online until a new location is secured. The City of Fort Wayne's Public Works and Community Development Divisions, along with Mayor Sharon Tucker, announced plans Monday for sculptural markers on multiple gateway locations into the city. The gateway markers will be placed at I-69 and Jefferson Boulevard, I-69 and DuPont Road, and US 30 and Flaw Road. All three designs feature the name of the city. Indiana's 13 casinos reported a total of $190.4 million in revenue in June, down 9.8% over the previous month, but nearly $7 million higher than June 2023. The year-over-year growth can be attributed to the additional revenue from the Terre Haute Casino Resort, which opened in April. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
Plans to turn an aging city-owned soccer complex into a rugby-focused facility could catalyze the sport's growth in central Indiana and help lure major tournaments, championships, teams, and governing bodies, according to insiders and experts. Rugby Indy expects to begin its $45 million revamp of Kuntz Memorial Soccer Stadium in downtown Indianapolis this summer. Rugby Indy also hopes the revamped facility will attract a team in the Major League Rugby system while setting the stage for potential bids for early-round men's and women's Rugby World Cup matches in the next decade, something Indiana Sports Corp President Patrick Talty is also hopeful for.
The Rugby World Cup is coming, men's in 2031 and women's in 2033. And, why now people don't think rugby's mainstream. Soccer wasn't mainstream, many years ago. And so I think it'll continue to grow. Indiana has a very strong rugby scene across the state. And so I think that's something that's out there.
The 4-phase project, expected to be completed by early 2027, is intended to transform the facility into an 8,000-seat stadium with a secondary practice field. A national hospice care provider has agreed to pay a multi-million-dollar settlement in response to allegations it submitted false claims for services at several U.S. locations, including one in South Bend. The U.S. Department of Justice announced last week that Gentiva, successor to Kindred at Home, has agreed to pay nearly $20 million to resolve allegations that Kindred at Home and related entities knowingly submitted false claims and knowingly retained overpayments for hospice services provided to patients who were ineligible to receive hospice benefits under various federal healthcare programs. The settlement also resolves allegations that the locations knowingly and improperly concealed or avoided obligations to repay the foregoing hospice claims. Longtime broadcaster Betsy Ross is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.